What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Yee Yee Podcast, episode 47. Do us a favor real quick. Hit the subscribe button before you listen. It helps us out a lot. And I heard this week that the algorithm loves on YouTube if you comment and then respond to other people's comments. So do me a favor. Comment where you're listening from, because we like hearing where everyone's listening from. And then go to the comments and find someone else that lives nearby you and tell them how close they are to you. Because, you know, the algorithm, baby. We have Chris Lee on today. This is long overdue. You came on like a year ago, I guess.
Yeah, I've been showing up like every week, trying to get back on here, and sometimes y'all just change the locks on the doors. And
what's that? The cornerback for the Jets, whenever he walks up to the facility and slides his card, and he's like, man, they locked me out. Work. Verbal meme. We also got Tyler on in your extravagant hoodie.
Roll Tide.
Another sample.
Yeah, that's that hoodie is something.
You want to put it out in the spring launch? We got a limited amount for everybody watching. I mean, when are we going to put it out?
It doesn't matter. We could do it now and they'd sell out, or we could do it during the launch.
I like it, but I feel like at some point it's going to give me a seizure.
Yeah, me too.
I think it already did give me a seizure.
Maybe that's why I should have done red instead of black or white. I don't know.
Yeah, more clashing colors. That'd work.
Good thing we have 1,000.
It looks like something that all of our Roll Tide fans would love. Bear Bryant days. And then we got Parker.
Howdy.
So we got the whole gang today. So yeah, Super Bowl was Sunday. So do we want to talk about halftime show or the game first?
I know what Chris is going to say about the halftime show.
Okay, we'll talk about the halftime show.
Because I thought it was sweet.
I liked it.
The older generation, like we grew up, me and Chris, you know, in Granger with Dr. Dre and the Chronic and Snoop Dogg, like. So still, it was cool to see those guys just still rocking, and Eminem. Everybody's going to have their opinions on the halftime show. I mean, did I love it? Would I rather have somebody else? Probably, but I thought it was cool.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it could have been better. I loved to me, that group of guys just summarizes our generation. I say our generation. You're a lot younger than I am. But my generation of bumping around in my 84 Monte Carlo in the 90s, listening to Snoop and Dr. Dre, I love that aspect of it. People taking the socials, calling it the greatest of all time, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
If there's anything that you guys scream, it's hip-hop. So it makes sense that you would love that.
Right.
You guys look like you just really
Dre just revolutionized
he did.
The entire music industry. I mean, for people that don't know, he was a producer and also a rapper, but he discovered Snoop, he discovered 50 Cent, he discovered Eminem, Ice Cube. I mean, come on, dude. All those names.
He was NWA, right?
Tupac.
Was he NWA?
Mm-hmm.
So NWA was Eazy-E, Ice Cube, Dre, and wasn't there one other guy?
Cube, and then...
Oh, wait, hold on. Pause real quick. Parker's phone went off first. If you're new to the podcast, the first person for their phone to go off has to drink the milk, and Parker is not new to this. He's already chugging.
You got to drink the whole milk.
And then he
Good
gets
thing he's
bad
Vulcan.
diarrhea.
This is great.
This is really quick.
I
hope the camera got the bottom of that.
That was Griffin Gall giving me news that he cannot come to a bachelor party.
Oh,
Shout
good.
out,
Come on, Griffin.
Thanks,
I thought
Griffin.
it was going to be more wedding drama from Amy.
We can cut that if we need to. I actually texted him last night and said, for my Valentine's Day wish is that I see your pretty face at the bachelor trip. So I guess he's not going to be there. Well, you know what I was thinking too, and obviously I was into music at a young age, but not really into like subgenres, or even I was listening to like top 40. Like, man, I love this. You gonna throw up over there?
Okay,
wow,
okay.
Very dramatic. Like I was into music, listening to like top 40, which at the early 2000s was a lot of like Nickelback, Hoobastank type rock stuff. But I was thinking about it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that feels like the last time that hip hop, and I feel like every generation probably says, man, back in my day, like an old man yelling at clouds. But I feel like that was the last time that hip hop across the board had a ton of great artists. Mm-hmm. And not only that, hip hop was starting to get into mainstream in the top 40 and stuff. Like back, I mean, In the Club by, wow, I sound so white saying that.
In the club.
In the Club, it's not the club, the Club by 50 Cent. I think it was on the charts for months, like in the top 5, maybe even number 1. I don't remember, but it felt like that was kind of that whole that late 90s, early 2000s era. They got everybody. The only other person that you already said that I would have liked to have seen would have been Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Because Ice Cube represents L.A. and he's synonymous with L.A., which is where the Super Bowl was played.
Yeah.
So I would have liked to have seen him.
I'm a big fan of Kendrick Lamar, but I think they could have, if they would have brought out Ice Cube instead of Kendrick, I think that would have probably pushed it over the top.
Yeah, Kendrick's newer. He came out like 2010, 11, 12, maybe a little bit later. And so it was kind of a weird thing. But I know that it's music industry politics.
He's a Dr. Dre guy, so it makes sense. But I love that era of hip hop, it was about suffering back then. Those guys were rapping about living on the streets of L.A., and now it's what kind of car they drive.
Look how much money I have.
Yeah.
They all came from nothing.
Yeah.
For people that don't know, Eminem is the 6th highest.
He's the white guy
selling. He's the 6th highest selling musical artist of all time, and all the other ones that are ahead of him is like Elvis, the Beatles, Michael Jackson,
Garth probably.
Garth isn't ahead of him.
He's not.
Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but all those people are dead, like Michael Jackson, Elvis, the Beatles, all of them. So Eminem is still relatively young. So when he dies, he'll probably end up being the number 1 music artist of all time selling albums.
Another thing to think about that we were having a discussion in the office the other day is it's fun to talk about what artists transcend generations. And I think that Snoop Dogg has done that more than any other artist. And it's not just music, it's all of the different pop culture that he's in. I put like U2 in that class. U2 was in the 80s, 90s, and then now still popular, although not as much. Are there any other artists that come to mind whenever you're thinking of like artists that have...
Granger.
Besides Granger
popular
and Earl?
In the 90s, 3 decades.
Johnny Cowboy comes to mind.
4 decades now, 90s. 4 decades.
I look at like an Aerosmith, not as relevant today, but the fact that they were making hits in the early 70s, going all the way into the 2000s is crazy to me. On the country side of things, Willie Nelson can still put out songs, and he's still considered cool by the masses.
What about
George, obviously.
Rolling Stones?
Rolling Stones. Yeah. They don't make... There is this
They're
level,
still selling out stadiums, I should say, but
for sure.
I don't know any other recent
I think
music.
Snoop Dogg, though, encompasses so much more because, like, Mick Jagger just sits back in his mansion and gets that paycheck. Like, Snoop Dogg's still out there. He's on TV shows. He's in sporting events. Like, he's doing all these different things. I saw a funny tweet from someone I knew that said, "Shout out to Snoop Dogg, the real story of continued success or crushing your dreams or something." They said last year he was playing at the Backyard in Waco, and now he's playing the Super Bowl halftime show. Because a lot of these rappers, I'm like, Snoop, what are you doing, dude? Like, he will literally play he'll play like the Round Rock Amphitheater, and then he'll go be in the halftime show, which I guess get your money, do your thing. But it was funny to me.
He's so universally liked too. You know, you can find the countryest of country rednecks, and they love Snoop.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, he's just across the board. People just like him.
Parker, do you have an artist that's transcended generations?
Mason Ramsey.
Oh, yeah.
Lil Hank. At least you admit that you don't know as much about music.
Yeah, I just don't really care as much. Like, I don't know. People name famous artists all the time around me. I'm like, I have no idea who that is. I honestly cannot stand 90s rap.
Oh, my God.
That was probably mine. I can appreciate it for what it is, but it's just like so overplayed. I feel like I was at a bar in Austin, Texas, where it's just like the same 5 songs over and over again of Dre and Snoop, and I'm just like, ugh, Eminem. It's just terrible.
I think that's what happens when we don't grow up in it.
Yeah, I think so too.
I heard someone say if you're over 50, you hated the halftime show. If you're 30 to 40, then you loved it. And if you're under 30, then you didn't understand it.
That's probably why they threw Kendrick Lamar in there.
Yeah. It's just also like you get on social media every damn year with the halftime show. Mm-hmm. You have people that love it. You have people that hate it. Dude, I could walk onto stage and fart into a microphone for 10 minutes straight with pyro and flames and smoke and all the different shebang. And there would be people that would be on social media like, that was brilliant.
Right. That was so cutting edge.
Yes. You sometimes, to move forward, you have to go back. And sometimes that means just farting into a microphone for 10 minutes.
Well, it's rare that I ever walk away from that show saying that was terrible. Even last year
The
was
weekend was
considered
pretty cool.
You can find things that you like in every performance.
But a lot of people consider the weekend's performance last year as one of the worst.
One of the worst.
And it was still, you walk away, it's like, okay, he just walked around in a damn demonic funhouse all bandaged up for 15 minutes, and it was still kind of cool. You know, it doesn't measure up to, like, for me, the best performance was the Bruno Mars performance.
Yeah.
2014. That was outstanding. I thought this Sunday's performance was awesome, but I don't think that weekend, as weird as it was, even comes close to those.
Speaking of which, you have a TikTok that is currently going super viral about the halftime show.
Yeah.
That you didn't like.
I liked it.
That you didn't like the weekend.
Oh, the weekend.
It's your alter ego.
Yeah. Randall doesn't really like the weekend. He just doesn't trust him. You know, he wears all those bandages and everything. It's just something.
If
There's
you're not
something not right about him.
If you're not familiar, Randall is what's your TikTok? Drop it real quick.
Chris Lee Country, or Chris Gaines is the actual name.
Okay. So go look it up.
Gainz.
Z with a Z, very
Not to be
important.
confused with Garth Brooks.
On his shirt, if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, it's at like 500,000. I love Randall, by the way. Make sure you're following Chris because those videos are hilarious. I love Randall because Randall always says something that I wouldn't expect Randall to say. Every video never fails. Like you see this guy, you're like, oh, I know what he's gonna say, and then he kind of like he says some of the things that you'd expect, but then he just pulls some out of right field, which I love that he hated the weekend. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah. But love Snoop and Dr. Dre,
Yeah.
50 Cent.
The game, Matt Stafford finally got a Super Bowl win, which is cool because he's from Highland Park, which is where you went to high school. Did you ever? How much older were you than him?
I was a senior when he was in 8th grade, so we were neighbors. He lived the house down from us. So we were seniors and doing our thing, and we always heard the story of this 8th grader that was really good and could throw
so you knew.
really far. Yeah, we knew of him because people were talking about him. Like, he's really good for an 8th grader, but he's an 8th grader. So, but yeah, and then he became a legend.
And he was with the Detroit Lions for like 10 plus years, just never won anything. I wonder we've got a lot of fans that are listening that are probably Detroit Lions fans. I wonder how you feel if you're a Lions fan and it's like whenever you date a really hot girl, but you're never able to like give her what she truly needs. And then so she gives you tons of chances, and then she just finally gets tired and leaves you. And then immediately after finds like a multimillionaire, handsome, like successful guy. You got to be a little bit happy for her, but also a little bit upset.
But you hate the millionaire.
Yeah. I don't know.
Or at least she's happy, but I hate that guy.
At least she's happy. I don't know. Bull is a Lions fan, Granger's bus driver, and he was super like a little bit of both moods. He was excited for Stafford, but also like a little bit.
Cue Just to See You Smile, Tim McGraw.
Perfect
The
song
Lions
for this.
fans.
All right. Another thing, has everyone in here watched Yellowstone?
Yes.
Are you caught up?
Yes.
Okay. You're caught up? Okay, I'm the only one not caught up. I just finished season 1. By the way, try not to drop any spoilers.
Okay.
I just
John
finished,
Dutton dies.
bleep that out. I just finished season 1. Yellowstone is fine. It's just fine.
You like it better than 1883? Because I know
Whoa.
you're
1883 sucks.
Only Hayden would ever say that.
Okay, I went into 1883 loving it. The first few episodes, dude, it's boring.
you're caught up now. You watch.
Yeah.
This last
Oh, we watch it every week. And so let me ask you this, because we've gotten so used to watching shows and binging them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to figure out if my dumb brain just can't take waiting a full week for a new episode, and so it all feels slow. But maybe it's some of that, but I do also feel like the show's really, really slow.
It is slow, and it's an old Western, and the narration makes it slow, I think, too, with Elsa constantly talking about the wind and the sun on
the
everybody.
wind blew through my hair
Yeah.
like a breeze on a summer day. It's just like,
So I get it. That pace is not for everybody, and I prefer it more than Yellowstone. I might be,
I haven't watched any of
In the
1883 yet.
but man, I think it's so cool. It just feels historical. It's my ancestors go back to living in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in the late 1800s, which coincidentally that's where the show starts. I think it's cool, but I love Westerns.
one thing that I was thinking about the other day is they need there's we're 8 episodes in. They started in Fort Worth and they're trying to get to Oregon.
Mhm.
So they're going on this trail. So they've got to battle like thieves and just the elements and Indians and all the different things that you had to deal with in 1883. And we're like 8 episodes in and they just got to Oklahoma the other day.
Yeah.
Like it took you 8 episodes to get from Fort Worth to Oklahoma, which I'm guessing is like probably Wichita Falls, that area.
Mhm.
I actually did the map. I mapped it. If you did roads,
Yeah.
if there were roads in 1883, it was like they probably went through Wichita Falls. But it's just kind of slow to me.
That is the cool thing about these like TV series now, is that I know that you're complaining about how it took a while to get drawn out, but that is what's cool, is like in what they used to have to fit in like 180 minutes in a movie. Now you have these like crazy storylines that can pan out over 5 seasons and 50 episodes. That they can really draw it out. Like that's the way I felt with like Game of Thrones and like with Yellowstone. That is cool about it, is they don't have to just like rush it into this storyline. It's like you really get a feel for the characters and their backstories and stuff, and they can do stuff like that knowing they have more time to play around with it. But it stresses me out just thinking about all the planning they have to do for each of those episodes. Sometimes I think about it. I remember hearing Game of Thrones was like $10 million an episode or something. And I'm sure Granger could appreciate that all the more now,
Yeah.
seeing how much goes into each shot.
It also makes you wonder. Movies have gone downhill, just as theaters have. A lot of movies are being released straight to streaming. It makes you wonder, a blockbuster book that did have a bunch of details in it. Like we were talking about this the other day because Ben and I both like Harry Potter. If Harry Potter came out today, the books, do you think it'd be a movie, or do you think it'd be a TV show that had like 8 seasons, like a Game of Thrones, and each episode is over an hour? Because because I've read and watched the Harry Potter movies, there are a lot of details that, not a lot, but there are details that would have made the viewing experience better that they left out.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder if that's the direction that we're going now.
Was Game of Thrones based on a
Yeah,
book?
it's what's his name? The guy that George.
Michael.
Everyone hates him because
Michael.
George Michael.
George of the Jungle, I think.
Well, everyone hates this guy because he's been saying for like 10 years that it's Fire and Ice or Fire.
Yeah.
So I think that's the name of the book series.
Coming
He's
out this year.
Well, he's been saying that for 10 years now, and he keeps saying it's coming out, and like now, if you get on Reddit and read the threads, everyone hates him. Like all that fandom, they all hate.
It's like everybody waiting for Grand Theft Auto to come out.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
PS5.
exactly.
But I think that's supposed to come out this spring.
Well, that's what they said 5 years ago.
Seriously?
Yeah. Or House of Dragons is going to be the
Okay.
new. It's a prequel.
You talking about GTA?
House of Dragons.
Oh.
GTA.
GTA will never come out. It'll come out the same year they put a country music act in the Super Bowl halftime show.
NCAA.
Add the thing right there.
Ben, will you take that from Cooper? He is just...
Cooper is back in the office for the first time in weeks and will not stop chewing on a bone, and he is very unhappy that Ben just took his bone away. You know what's funny? He doesn't care about any toys, bones, anything. As soon as we get in here and we start recording, he's all into it. I have another question for you, Chris.
Yes.
How often do you do legs?
I do once a week, sometimes twice a week. And I know that sounds crazy, but sometimes I'll just want to focus on quads and calves, and then I'll do like deadlifts and hamstrings and everything else on a separate day. Some days I'll just do them all like I did yesterday, and I'm hurting today. I did them all in one day.
Why are you asking? You don't
Well,
think his legs are...
hold on real quick. Can y'all turn the cameras off? Okay, they're off. How often do you really do legs?
Never. I've never done them.
You've never done that? I didn't think so. Okay.
No.
Okay. All right, you can turn them back on. I just had that. I wasn't sure if you were one of the guys that just did upper body or if you also did lower body.
Granger
I
doesn't.
feel like that's kind of offensive.
Granger
You're always
doesn't do
wearing
legs.
pants when I see you. So
Did you
Yeah.
know that?
What's that?
That Granger doesn't do legs anymore?
He doesn't. But he naturally just has kind of a thick trunk.
I haven't done legs in 5
mhm.
weeks because my back
Really?
still hurts. So
Yeah.
I might just stop. I love legs, though, because they're the hardest workout of my week.
Yeah.
y'all crush yourselves on legs, though. I've watched y'all do your
Well, you
leg
could
workout.
just do you could do our leg day with no weight, and that would still make you very sore.
I think if I did no squats, I'll be all right. But my back is still messed up, so
Dude,
just careful with it.
Also, it's so easy to not do legs and just lift only and be
Uh-huh.
fine and never notice. But Brian, Ben, and I were at the rec center where we started going in Georgetown
Yeah.
in the past month, and we play basketball sometimes. And usually it's just like around the world shooting hoops. Some kid, he said he was 20, was like, "Hey, y'all want to play 2-on-2?" We were like, "It's 8:30. We don't have to be at the office for a little while. We'll go." Dude, 2-on-2 half court. We were all, but I'm a little bit older than them, and Ben played college sports, so he's less out of the game. I have not done any type of physical activity in forever.
Yeah.
I was struggling, and I realized that it's all because I don't really do legs. So I
Yeah.
was like, I got to start doing legs because
Basketball?
everything yes,
Well, it's
dude.
probably cardio, too. Like, when's
That-
the last time you...
It was a little bit of cardio, but a lot of it, like my legs the next day were so sore just from the cuts, and we're playing 2-on-2. Like, think if I was playing 5-on-5 full court, I couldn't walk the next day.
But also, that's like a different type of workout, because I remember like working out regularly when I was at A&M, but then we'd go play flag football, and I would be so sore the next day just from like that acceleration and cutting. Even with no weight, it's just like different. So the more you play, then the less sore you get.
Man,
Yeah,
to be
sports muscles.
20 again. When I was
Right.
playing football and I just like 205 and like 7% body fat, eat whatever I want.
Yeah.
But in my defense, we were working out pretty hard.
What happened to your hand?
Right there, cutting cedar and
Got
planting trees this weekend.
How many
Fight.
trees
Got it.
did you plant this weekend?
20.
What kind?
Crabapple and pear.
At the ranch?
Yeah.
And is that just for whitetail deer?
Yeah, I mean it's for whitetail deer, but it's like George Bush, you know, when he was president, he used to say like he'd get away and go cut cedar. It's like that's the way I feel, like where I'm, you know, that's my one like space where I don't have my phone and I'm just in nature and I just love it.
So if you need
What
some,
I tell my wife, I'm like, I'm gonna go off to the bathroom and cut cedar.
so if you have some cedar that needs to be cut down, go ahead and DM Tyler. What's your Instagram username? Drop that real quick.
Tyler Smith 11.
He will come and cut your cedar. Actual cedar.
Oh no.
All right, we're gonna cut a break. We'll be right back.
What's up, guys? Thanks for listening and watching to the podcast. Today's podcast is sponsored by the Yee Yee Mystery Box. I'm right here in the warehouse where we're shipping out a ton of mystery boxes. If you've kind of been in between launches or have been wanting to try something but haven't been wanting to spend too much money, this is our cool product that is only $10, and you could get a shirt or a hat or anything in between. So check it out. And let's get back to the podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Yee Yee podcast. We used to do fan of the week. We haven't done it in a while. So, our fan of the week is Mark Randall. Attaboy, Mark.
Good job, Mark.
Mark, you get some claps. Maybe we should work on getting something for our fan of the week. But you get a shout out on the podcast. If you want to be the fan of the week, make sure you're commenting on our videos. We read all the comments. We see them all. We share them sometime in the group text when they're really funny. And
And
yeah,
Hayden cries
and
when they're mean.
And sometimes they're mean about me. A lot of times they're mean. So Chris, what have you been doing? I guess y'all had a show in St. Louis this last weekend, but with Granger on set, what you've been doing lately, because he's been filming for the last 30+ days.
Yeah, I've been full-time dad, part-time baseball coach, and even more so a part-time amateur comedian. So
Yeah, you've been pushing out videos.
yeah. These times though, I prefer to be on the road. It gives me an opportunity to kind of jump in and create some stuff.
It's got to be so weird to just take these long breaks here and there from the road for whatever reason, whether it's like the season where you're not touring as much, or Granger's having a baby, or filming, or whatever.
Well, I think we were intentional about it. This is the first time in 20 years that we were like, we're going to take off January, February, and then we, got that movie offer. So Granger's been busy, but it's an intentional decision for us to take off.
Yeah. It's all perception too. Every year we will at least get a couple weeks at the end of the year. This year's, drastically different, but there's always a perception of, if you ask me in mid-July when we're on a county fair circuit, or we're playing a festival every day and everybody's getting road tired, it's like, oh yeah, I'm looking forward to December.
Yeah.
And then you get to January and it's like, I really like to get back out on the road right now.
Yeah,
My
I was
kids just broke another thing of mine. And
yeah. So how's the mindset of you and then the band and crew, as far as, did this help, like us taking off a month or two that we've never done before?
I think so. I think everybody comes back more fresh. The hell was that?
What in the hell was that sound?
I think he was sleeping.
Oh, I
The
thought that was
hiccups.
you. That was Cooper.
The dog hiccups.
He's having a nightmare.
Oh.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's right. But I think everybody kind of comes back more fresh. I think we miss each other, for one thing. Like, seeing the guys this past weekend was really, really cool because they're family. We spend so much time together throughout the year. So getting to see them, getting to see the fans, a lot of the regulars came to this show in St. Louis. So
yeah, I saw a lot of them.
seeing those people again is really, really cool.
There's also, for listeners at home that don't realize this, there's a drastic difference between playing 5 shows in a week and all of them are in clubs, or not even clubs, just a venue that does this night in, night out, has green room space, or like has people that work at the venue that know exactly how this goes, as opposed to the summer where it's bigger shows, your rodeos, your festivals, but like sometimes it's a different situation.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to teach people how to throw on a concert sometimes the day of.
Does that happen a lot of times?
Yeah, not as much as it used to, as we've kind of moved up.
Yeah.
But initially, like 2013, you go play a county fair, and it's their first time to have somebody this big, as they would say. And it's the biggest event of their year, and they have no experience putting on a concert. So through my advance and through Blake's advance, Blake's our production manager, you're kind of teaching them along the way. Hey, this doesn't work. Don't put a bunch of stupid VIP tables in front of the stage. It's ridiculous. It makes for a bad experience for everybody, especially the artists.
Something super exciting that is coming up this week is Alaska this week.
Next week, we leave next Wednesday.
Is that full band?
So it's full band acoustic.
Okay.
So all the band guys will be there, but they will, like, I think Dusty's just going to have like a kick drum and a snare. Johnny's playing bass. The guitar players are going to have acoustic guitars.
What's the weather like in Alaska right now?
It's ranges from -3 to -30.
Okay.
So had I known that when I agreed to go to Alaska, that might have played into my decision making a little bit, but it's fine. We'll be good. It's my last state. So this is it.
So you'll knock off every state.
Would have visited all the states.
Wow.
So
Crazy.
we're excited.
Has the Granger ever played in Alaska besides the military stuff
Just that one time, I think, with CMT.
with Cody Allen? All right, elephant in the room. Show the listeners your shirt.
Oh yeah, this nice shirt.
So you just came out with a song.
Yeah, I have a bunch of shirts with my face on them at home. This was just one of them.
Okay. Okay. I'm not going to ask any more on that one. So the song, tell us about the song. What is it called? Where can people find it? And what was the inspiration behind it?
So the song is called Chili, and anything I do outside of being Granger's tour manager and being a family man, I use the name Chris Gaines, and we've talked about this on prior episodes or episode. But Chris Gaines, Gainz, is kind of my internet personality. It's where I get to, do comedy stuff and all that good stuff. But I love making songs. That's how I got into this whole deal with Granger, was making songs. So Chili is a song. It's available anywhere you illegally download, you legitimately pay for, or you stream music. It's everywhere. We're currently making a music video for it right now. I say we like I have a big production staff. It's
The team.
It's me and my 9-year-old son, Cannon, who can't hold a camera
Yeah,
still to
shakes.
save his life. Yeah.
Well, what I've learned in this business is if you just say my team,
Mm-hmm.
you sound so legit.
Yes.
Like your team can
My
be your
people.
wife and your 9-year-old.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
I have a few questions about some lyrics in the song.
Okay.
You say I've been to Juarez. Have you ever been to Juarez?
No.
So
Well,
you're
that's
a,
not-
so you're a liar.
No, that's not Chris.
I lie.
They're different people.
I lie constantly.
Okay, at least you admit it.
That's different people.
Yeah. This is coming from this is a character.
Okay, then can you answer on behalf of Chris Gaines? For
Yeah, of
this?
course.
Okay.
Well, it's Randall, not Chris Gaines, right?
It's Chris Gaines.
No, it's Chris
It's all so
Gaines.
confusing. I have so many personalities.
I thought it was Randall singing
I
that.
swear
It's
I'm not
Chris Gaines.
schizophrenic.
But that's Chris Gaines or Randall?
Oh, this is Randall, and he is pissed.
So why is Randall on the shirt for Chris Gaines?
Because
Song.
Randall knows a lot about chili and the origins of chili.
Yeah, what's the
He's not a
theme of the
singer.
song? The theme of the song is that you don't believe that beans belong in chili.
Well, the theme of the song is it's just the most American song ever in the creation of songs.
Okay, so here's another one. You said in the song, don't turn your back on a good war story.
That's right.
What if the old man telling the war story has Alzheimer's and he keeps repeating the same story? Do you turn your back?
No.
You just continue to listen to
You
it.
just listen.
What if he talks
He's
for 8
earned that
hours?
right. What if he talks what?
For 8 hours.
Yeah, you stay there for 8 hours.
Okay.
It might be his last 8 hours,
You said don't take a piss on an electric fence.
Yes. I know that from
Have you done that?
experience.
You've done
Yes.
that?
Yeah. I've pooped on an electric fence too. And
Okay.
it's not as bad.
Wasn't that Tommy Boy or something that he did that?
I don't know.
You don't remember that scene?
Where he ripped a car door off. That was kind of cool.
It wasn't Tommy Boy. It was the. Go ahead.
When you get zapped, does it zap at all, or does it feel like it goes in whenever you're peeing and you get zapped by an electric fence?
It's a
Do
little.
you feel it in your core?
It's a little titillating.
What is that word?
You actually did it and
it's-
got
Oh
electrified.
yeah. As a kid, yeah.
Well, there's not as much to.
Did you
zap.
know it was electric?
No.
You're
It
just
wasn't like
pissing on a fence.
It wasn't like a dare or anything.
Okay,
I
and
thought they proved that wrong on MythBusters. That you can't get electrocuted. Maybe that was a railroad.
yeah,
I don't
someone
know.
fact check us on that, because I feel like Chris or Randall or Chris Gaines.
Somebody.
I feel like this person singing
Karen.
just found a good rhyme and threw it in there.
And that could be the case as well.
Yeah, okay. Another quote from the song is pick a piece of land like you pick your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Do you look for prior electricity and a water well on your friends before you pick them?
Great question.
Stumped you there.
Yeah, it's good. I think the idea is just being selective. We go through life with, and Alice and I talk about this a lot. We go through life with a lot of acquaintances, right? We have very, very few, maybe a handful of dear friends, good friends, do or die friends. That's what that means.
So you just made it serious.
Yeah. It's a serious song. People think it's a joke song because it's coming from an amateur comedian, but I'm very passionate about this project.
Last one in the song, you say, take the good book off the shelf every now and then.
Yeah.
Which Harry Potter book do you mean?
Oh, man. The Holy Bible, the greatest book I've taken off the shelf in the last few years.
All right, I got a question. So you keep calling yourself an amateur comedian.
Mm-hmm.
So in your mind, what makes you a professional comedian, and when will you reach that
That's a
mark?
good question.
When people start paying me to make these stupid-ass jokes,
Well, you're getting paid with the shirts now.
am I?
You're about to. At what point? I mean, serious question. At what point do you stop saying I'm an amateur? Because you're one of the funniest guys I know. And
Thank you.
I mean, does it mean you have to be on a headline tour? Does it mean?
Yeah, I look at like a Dave Chappelle. It's like that's a professional comedian. I look at people that do comedy for a living, that play stand-ups every night. Those are professional comedians.
Do you have any aspirations to become one of those?
I think so. I've never done stand-up before. I think I would enjoy it. I've written little bits together. But I really enjoy this tier of comedy. I like making videos.
Modern day comedy.
Yeah.
I like things that are visual and audio and the magic that you can create with editing.
And it really is a different world, but people just kind of lump them into the same thing. But we had Ginger Billy on. He was talking about how hard it was to transition from just making skits and videos to like actually going to stand up and writing bits and engaging an audience, and how much different of a world that is. And how he's like, I know guys who like tried to make that transition and they just couldn't do it. And they're like, I'm just going to stick to skits.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
I think you have it in you, though. I mean, I could see Chris doing stand up. I think.
Well, yeah, because Chris already has a great stage presence. He's been doing that for 10 years.
He's good in front of people and on stages. Hayden said that he went to a comedian named Trey Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
He sold out ACL Live this past weekend.
Nice.
So I think just the modern day,
And he's
Wait,
YouTube.
Weren't we
That's
going
how
to
I
have him on
started.
the podcast?
You're gonna try it. Yeah.
I think the modern way of doing it is create a following where an undeniable millions
Mm-hmm.
of hundreds of thousands, whatever followers, and then you start asking and just seeing if your fans want to see you. And then these YouTubers like Trey are able to turn that platform into hard ticket sales, selling out ACL Live, which is awesome.
Yeah,
So,
that's
I mean,
great.
I don't know if that's a goal of yours, but a lot of like Ginger Billy does that now. It's super cool to see.
So it takes so long and so like.
So just create a following of 10 million people.
Okay,
That's
got it.
That's your next.
Well,
clue.
I'm
that.
looking
Trey's
for a manager.
2.7.
You guys are on the right track.
Yeah,
here.
but his
This is
YouTube's
good.
crazy. So you believe that beans belong in chili?
I disagree with that idea strongly.
So tell me why you're wrong.
Okay, tell you why I'm wrong.
Yes, please.
I'm not wrong. To me, this is a debate of: are we talking history or are we talking preference? Because everybody's got a preference. Do I think it's wrong to put beans in chili? No. You can put whatever you want in chili. You can put a damn shoe in chili.
Just don't call it chili.
It just becomes something else. It becomes chili with a shoe. It becomes chili with the beans.
or stew, as Jimmy called it in Yellowstone.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So if, there's people, I'm considered a chili purist, right? That I love.
Is that in your Instagram bio?
It's not, but I'm adding it.
Okay, there
'Cause
you go.
I love that chili purist. I'll turn that into a shirt. If you look at the origins of chili, it started in the 1800s, 1860s in San Antonio by the chili queens. That was a beanless chili. That's how it was created. It was not created on a trail somewhere, Parker, like you said on that episode.
Parker's on the spot over there.
You just put a bunch of stuff in the pot.
I thought that's what Granger had said. I just said that casually.
You don't believe everything Granger says. My gosh, look at all his alter egos. He lies constantly.
This company is made.
Well, who
sits
are
on
the
a throne
chili
of lies.
The chili queens were a group of Mexican women, and they served lunch out of it was the Mexican military compound at San Antonio. And so they would sell to ranchers, they would sell to cowboys that would come in. And they created this dish, it was also known as a bowl of red, that was beef, red chilies, some kind of a tomato product, salt, pepper, onion, cumin.
And these are straight facts.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not making this
I
up.
believe you.
Yeah. So that's where it started. So my issue has never been with people putting things.
When did beans become put into chili?
When people wanted it to taste better and not bad.
Do you know the year and who did that? Or
No, I think like anything else, if you go to Boise, Idaho and order a plate of enchiladas, they're not going to be like a plate of enchiladas that was developed in Dallas, Texas in the early 1900s. They're going to be a little bit different. So people are going to add, they're going to make it their own. I get it and everything. My whole issue has always been when people tell me it's not chili unless you put beans in it. It's meat sauce.
But
That's historically false.
But back in the day, you're right on about the chili queens. But also what they were doing was they had tamales, and they were putting the sauce on the meat sauce, which you call chili. They were putting it on top. So it wasn't its own dish. It was topping
It was its
stuff
own dish. They were selling it out of a bowl.
with tamales at the
They were
bottom.
also selling tamales, but they were selling it as a bowl.
Tamales
That
with
become a dish. No.
with the sauce.
Hayden
on
was
top.
probably studying for an hour before this podcast.
I
just
learned
to
about
make
the
sure.
I learned about the San Antonio chili queens 38 minutes ago.
I bet you did.
Revolutionaries.
Okay, but you did say something
Sounds
though.
making me hungry. Actually,
You did say something though that a lot of chili purists will argue. You said tomato, which a lot of them because a lot of people die on the hill of no beans in chili. You're one of them. A lot of people also die on the other hill of chili is not tomato based. It's chili based. So like 7 or 8 types of chili is the base of it.
Yeah.
So do you think that tomatoes belong in chili?
I think I use tomato paste personally, but yeah, I think they do.
What kind of meat?
I can't imagine. I'm just trying to think of the different recipes I make at home. I'm trying to imagine not putting chili paste in there.
I think it's a lot more work if you have a chili
And honestly,
base.
chili paste or tomato paste.
chili base. Like
Chili
a lot of
base.
people will like.
And so chili
Yeah.
is meat. What is a chili base?
Sorry, like peppers. They'll use peppers as the base. So like
Yeah.
chili, like there's so
That
many
makes
different
sense.
types of chili peppers. So
Dry,
that's the
they-
base rather than tomatoes.
Okay, there
You
so
roast the chili peppers.
So
you
chili is a pepper.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah, it's a chili pepper.
Okay.
Yeah. So you roast the chili peppers, you ground it. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, if you look at ratio, and I'll be glad to post a recipe in the comments below for a real chili dish that does not include beans.
Do they come from Chile? Is that what we call them that? But chili is with an I.
It was probably changed.
There
at some
you go.
Are we talking about temperature?
Should
chili be cold?
Chili with a Y. Just wow.
So many possibilities.
It's just chili, but it's just really ice cold.
Yeah.
It's just chili.
It's chili, all right.
Did you know that
Chili?
chili?
Yeah. What's your favorite kind of meat?
So I use, I love just a good beef chili.
What type?
My favorite, either chili grind or I'll use like a chuck and cut it into little squares.
Because
Not ground beef.
I mean, sometimes it's just the chili grind is like perfect texture.
What
Well,
is chili grind?
you
It's
before
like a
though.
ground beef, but it's like a more coarse ground
Everything.
beef. Yeah.
So you've made the argument. I've heard you talk about this, and you made fun of Parker for something he talked about on a podcast. So are you in the? You said that back on the trail days they weren't going to cut into their own, or was this you that said they weren't going to cut into their own profits, their beef?
Yeah.
So they used beans instead.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any? Is that true?
Yep. They would use.
Because it makes sense.
Yeah, they would use the beans as a protein replacement. My wife is a animal rights activist vegetarian. If she makes chili for herself, she uses beans as the protein. It's just disgusting, but that's what she does.
So the cowboys back in the day used beans.
Yeah, as a
So-
replacement. It
and they
wasn't.
called it chili.
Yeah, it wasn't a staple ingredient in making the chili. They wouldn't add it with beef, unless maybe they were drunk. But it was a replacement for beef, a substitute.
There are a lot of top chefs and cowboy cooks that all have beans in their chili.
Oh,
Because they do it,
They're
that's
making a
their
lot of
prerogative.
stew.
But
They're-
if we're
they're
talking about the history and the actual facts about it, I think that's what Chris is explaining.
Did
if
you
you
know?
go if you go to the Terralingua chili cook-off every year, it's the largest chili cook-off in the world. No beans are winning those competitions.
Do they allow beans? Is it like a skiing thing where they don't allow snowboarders at some of these mountains?
Yeah.
Did you know that Bush's Beans is the main sponsor of the International Chili Society?
Is it really? Wow.
And cornhole.
And
Money,
cornhole, yeah.
money rules everything.
Bush's loves chili and cornhole.
That's a big company.
Do you think? So we were talking about it. I'm interested in what people think at home. We were talking about hypothetically, if we did a shirt
Mm-hmm.
that said beans belong in chili and then a shirt that said beans don't belong in chili,
Yeah.
what do you think more would sell?
I think the beans do belong in chili would sell more.
Why is that?
I think the idea has just expanded. You know, like I said, I'm a purist. I prefer the true form, the original form of chili, the way it is. But I also understand that people have their variations over the years, and they've added. Hell, I've heard of people adding mushrooms and stuff to it, which is just
That's gross.
the most
That's too much.
un-American thing I've ever
That's
heard
too
of.
much.
The shirt that would sell the most is the one that says, "I don't care if it has beans or not, as long as it tastes good." I'll eat
No,
it.
that would be
But
the worst seller.
You think about it, adding beans.
Ask in the comments. People don't care.
Ask in the comments. But they don't
If
care.
it
so they
tastes
wouldn't-
good,
so
I
they-
don't care.
They don't care. So why would they buy a shirt?
I'm
you
just
see
saying,
what
if
I'm
you're saying there's three options,
we're just talking about
saying,
we're just talking about shirts.
Yeah.
If it was we don't care, they're not going to buy a shirt because they just don't care. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I know what you're saying.
I love that look. I want that look of Tyler being like, yeah, you're right. I want it screenshotted and framed in my office. Well, I actually think that you could sell more with beans don't belong in chili because people that think it belongs in chili,
Mm-hmm.
that's not the unpopular opinion.
Right.
People that they're the purists like you that get really into beans not belonging on chili, they're going to see that shirt and say, "Oh, I want that. Beans don't belong in chili."
Yeah.
Whereas the person that same thing with Tyler, the person that doesn't care either way,
It's
or
gonna get the beans one.
they may get it, but like, are they really?
I agree with that. My people are much more passionate about it
Yeah,
and often offended.
yeah. We should do a chili cook-off, you and me.
Okay.
We could film it for content, and we could do anonymous voting from everyone at the farm that day, and when they vote on who they think had the better chili.
Hayden was like, "I'm gonna make
Really?
some chili for Chris, and I'm gonna grind up beans so he can't see them, and then see if he likes it."
Or I'm gonna put one single bean in it,
That's
and
the
so
thing.
that I can say that you had.
There's
beans
no
with chili.
flavor. Beans don't add, and I like beans, but I like beans because they're seasoned a certain way, because you're adding salt and pepper and butter. If you just eat a bean as it is, there is no flavor. You're not adding anything to the chili.
Beans
besides
are known
texture.
beans are known for soaking up flavor though. So if you put them in the chili, they soak up the flavor.
If they don't soak up the flavor, where does the flavor go? You think it leaves the pot?
it combines with the bean. Have you ever had a kidney bean? They definitely have a flavor.
Oh no, I don't think so.
Kidney beans are the best in
Disgusting.
your
They
chili.
look like cockroaches. all
They do.
shriveled
They
up.
do a little bit.
Whose kidney are you using?
All right, we're gonna do a chili cook-off soon. We're gonna go to break. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button because it helps us out. Chris was just talking in the break about how he has a really good chili story. Last time you were on our podcast, you had another really good story that you'll have to go back and listen to. We'll put that in the description to listen to that podcast. But why don't you hit me with your new story on chili?
A little bit embarrassing, but this furthers my passion for not having beans in chili. So my oldest son, Ryder, 11 years old, was born on November 1st, 11 years ago. And the night before,
Congrats on the sex, by the way.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've at least had sex 4 times.
4 times. You've got 4 kids.
4 kids, yeah. So my mother-in-law, God rest her soul, native Texan, right? It's not like she came from California like your girlfriend or anything like that. I love Taylor. She didn't have an excuse, but she made chili every Halloween, and she put beans in it. Now, her reasoning was they had, kind of humble upbringings. My wife's childhood was kind of humble, so they would use beans to kind of make the pot last. And while I respect that, at the same time, it's like if you can't afford to make a proper bowl of chili, you just don't make it.
You're poor. Don't make chili.
Money
It's not
up
for you.
and then make the chili. Go eat ramen or something. Anyway, my apologies to any poor people watching this. I'm a former poor myself. Understand? Anyway, she made a big pot of this chili with beans in it, also known as sad bean soup, on Halloween, and we had a scheduled C-section for Ryder the next morning.
Oh,
If you know what a
no.
C-section is, they cut your woman open and then they pull a baby out of the stomach. It's like some alien type stuff, right? So
It's crazy that happens, by the way.
it is. It's
Childbirth in general.
modern medicine.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we got the good end of that draw. So anyway, she made this chili. I ate it because I didn't want to be rude. The next morning, we go to the hospital, and we're all in there in the room together. The doctors come in. They're like, "Okay, Allison, we're getting ready to take you to the room to get this baby out. Watch Ryder be born." It's like, all right, so everybody's getting their scrubs on. I'm getting mine on. And then it hits me. And I get the worst case of bubble guts known to man. I'm like, hold on a second. I said, can we just hold on? And I need to go to a bathroom somewhere else away from y'all. And the doctors are very perturbed. They're like, no, we're going to go deliver this kid. We got to go deliver another one here in about 45 minutes. It's like, oh my gosh. So they wheel away. I run down the hall, and I find this unused hospital room. And I go in there and just let it go. Elsa, Frozen style.
Grabbing the railing.
Oh, my gosh. It hit me like a ton of bricks, and I'm sweating and very embarrassed because this is all going down. I might as well have had a microphone and announced to the whole hospital that I'm about to myself. I'm sorry. I'm supposed to say
We'll
that.
bleep it.
Okay. So I finish. I run down the hall. I'm like, where are they? Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? They direct me to the room. I make it, and I swear it's not 5 seconds. Ryder comes out, and he's crying and everything. And so the fact that I damn near missed my first son's birth, who we know is my favorite.
This is where this all comes from.
Because he looks like me, plays baseball.
Well, you post the most about him on Facebook, so he has to be the favorite.
Right. I'm the proudest. And I've known him the second longest.
Right.
Too. But the fact that I almost missed that birth because this lady, God rest her soul, put beans in that chili that's all the proof that God knows the difference between a bowl of chili and a bowl of soup.
So Ryder is a bean baby. If you think about it.
Well, no, he's not.
Did
Hayden?
the beans help push out Ryder out of your wife? Is that how that works?
She didn't eat the chili. She's a vegetarian.
She had the beans. I thought that was there meat in the beans?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
It was meat and beans. So basically it was vegetarian chili and chili mixed together, which is crazy when I say that out loud. It's like
It's no longer
we're going to have
vegetarian.
cats and dogs living together next. That's insane.
That is a good story. All right. Well, the fantasy rankings for this week, as we talk about food for the last 20 minutes, is the best home cooked meals. So the way the fantasy rankings work, if this is your first episode, we will go around. Each person gets 3 picks. We go in order. Once a pick is taken, the next person can't take it. So it's off the board. So I guess we'll let our guest go first. What would be the number 1 best home cooked meal?
I'm a big believer in a lot of times home cooked meals are attached to a memory, right? And that's definitely the case with this. Fried crappie is my absolute favorite home cooked meal. Fresh fried crappie. And if you don't know what crappie is, it's a fish. It's a white fish, freshwater.
It's poor people food.
Yeah,
It's my favorite.
is.
It's
Yeah.
my favorite poor people food too. Grew up on it.
Yeah, my grandfather, when I was a kid, I mean, during the spring and oftentimes the summer, damn near every weekend, we were going fishing. We'd go out in the boat. We'd bring in crappie on a good day, and we'd fry them up. And I love that taste. We'd get a big fryer out in the backyard, like a big turkey fryer. We fry those crappie up, put Tabasco on them. I'm starving. I'm starving right now.
Crappie and perch, or I guess perch, maybe not as much, but crappie's still my favorite
Yeah.
type of fishing
I
to
don't think
do.
I've ever had crappie.
My dad,
Oh my
dude, it's
gosh.
easy. My dad and I have actually slayed some crappie before. We go actually up near your way, Lake Belton.
Mm-hmm.
Is Lake Belton the one that backs up to Fort Hood? Yeah.
Does
Right.
it? I don't know.
We
I cross over it all the
So
time.
my dad grew up in that area, and so
Yeah.
they don't let people fish where it turns to Fort Hood anymore.
Okay.
But he is grandfathered in, so he still gets to go because he's been going since he was 10.
Yeah.
And so we found this. We hit a honey hole one day on some crappie, and it's
Nice.
you just find a there was a big tree sticking out of the water, and you just jig a little bit right on top of it, and we were crushing them. They were everywhere. Crappie's great. All right, Tyler, what you got?
Ooh, I get to go. I'll go with Dad's chicken fried venison backstrap
Chicken fried venison.
with gravy.
Yeah, that's great.
And then fried okra.
Yep, that's good. Mine is going to be lasagna. Nothing like a good lasagna that usually your grandma cooked and then it was passed down. We are very, very white. I feel like lasagna is the white person's Italian food. Like I still see lasagna at like some Italian places, but it definitely feels like the Italians were like, we're saying we're not going to do lasagna on our menu, and finally they just had to, which I'm probably very historically wrong with that, but it just feels like a white person's Italian
I can
food.
see that. My wife puts cottage cheese in hers. It's outstanding, but I always think like if a real Italian cook came in here, she would whoop your ass.
It would be ricotta
cheese
instead of cottage cheese.
Yeah,
it's probably like a good substitute.
Yeah,
which is actual Italian.
I love cottage cheese though, so that sounds good.
Tyler used to eat cottage cheese in a bowl with black pepper on it.
I still do.
His diet.
I remember that. All right, what you
used
got,
to
Park?
get it at Luby's.
Luby's.
Number one home cooked meal for me is brisket and cornbread.
Ooh, that's good. Cornbread, another thing that is incredible with whatever you call chili. Like I can't do chili without cornbread.
Side note, Granger likes his cornbread. He takes my mom's cornbread and then he likes it the next day in a bowl of milk, which some people think is
interesting.
Psychotic.
I don't like that.
So he gets it and then he breaks it up and then he'll like dip it in milk and then
Mom
eat
would
it
have
with
to
a
answer,
spoon.
but I think that was a thing that her dad did, our granddad. That was another thing when you didn't have much, you know, your family didn't have much. You'd use like leftover cornbread and put it together with milk and just kind of make what you could.
That feels
with
like
what you had.
Captain Crunch for Southern people.
Yeah.
It's like cereal. Man,
I like the cornbread and red beans and rice.
Yeah.
That's when I do eat beans.
Yeah. Yeah, I like how people are going to come out of this and just be like, dude, Chris Gaines hates beans. It's like, no, beans are, I think you like beans just in certain situations.
Yeah, sure.
All right, what's your next pick, Chris?
Next pick for me is chicken and dumplings.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
That's another polarizing dish, too, because you have certain parts of the country that'll eat the dumplings in like the doughy biscuit, like round biscuit types. And then you have like the flat, which I don't know if what it's like at the Northeast, but I've seen people on the East Coast will eat like the flat pastry.
My mom's done both.
Yeah. And then I think Amber puts like
Biscuits.
corn or something or carrots or something in hers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Boo.
Oh, sorry.
Is your wife?
It is. Yeah, she heard me talking
You can
about her
pick up.
cooking.
You can pick
She's
up.
like, I know he's talking about my cooking. Yeah, it's
We like picking up calls on this podcast. I talked to my mom once.
nice.
Tyler, what you got?
Besides anything that my mom cooks, I gotta put that out there because she listens to this podcast. So anything mom cooks is amazing. But and anything that I said, like I said, Dad, chicken fried venison, Mom makes it just as good. But like kind of what Chris was saying, a nostalgicness to when Dad would make it for us. But second, my mom could make it just as good. But I mean, growing up, when my grandma Minnie would cook biscuits and gravy, I could just eat like 12 biscuits and gravy and just be good the rest of the day.
I can't believe that one lasted this long because I was thinking about biscuits and gravy. Like a good biscuits and gravy, nothing compares. There's a place. Have you been to Monument in Georgetown, the cafe? God, they make some amazing biscuits, and it reminds because everyone just takes the high road. All these diners and stuff, they don't spend the time sometimes on the biscuits, and like Monuments may not be freshly made. They probably aren't, but they just feel like they are, and they just taste like it, and it just reminds me of an old. In this day and age we're living in, every single like breakfast place is just brunch nowadays. It's like there's a focus on the alcohol and not on the food. But Monument is still the place. If you're ever in Georgetown and listening to this, go to Monument. They're great for all meals, but specifically a weekend breakfast. They have more of a focus on like the diner, the food. I think they serve alcohol, but it's like definitely an afterthought. No one gets it there. It's just like a good, solid breakfast place, and it feels like something your grandma would make you. It's my favorite. All right, my pick is going to be chicken pot pie.
Ooh.
Chicken pot pie isn't necessarily my favorite meal, but I think it's just the quintessential home style cooking hearty meal. My grandma would make it, and fantastic. It's just
My mom makes one too. That was actually going to be my third choice, and it's kind of like chicken and dumplings a little bit. That just the vibe of what that is. But mom makes the one with a homemade crust. It's like super thick, and it's like literally takes her all day to make. So when I ask her what to make, I said chicken pot pie. She always does it, but it takes all day.
Yeah.
Just such a good thick flaky crust, and then you cut into it and it's steam, and then it's got peas and carrots and the chicken and all that.
Nothing
so
compares to a good chicken pot pie.
Yeah.
All right, what you got, Park?
Going with chicken spaghetti, best home cooked meal.
Spaghetti was on my list too, so it's specific.
Yeah, I think regular spaghetti is different enough to where it can be separate. Chicken spaghetti is complete. It's like a casserole basically, with cheese on top. That and some good bread is one of my favorites.
Do you have a tie to that? Did your mom cook that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Chicken spaghetti's bomb. I haven't had that in forever. Now I'm hungry. Chris, last round, what you got for your last pick?
Last pick for me, and I didn't experience this until I became married, but my wife makes a tremendous taco soup.
Yes.
I absolutely love it.
Is that different than tortilla soup?
Yes. I don't know why. There are a lot of beans in this soup too. But I'll get like tortilla chips, and I'll put the taco soup on rice, kind of like you would do with gumbo, and I'll take the tortilla chips and just scoop it out, and it's amazing.
Taco soup. There's nothing
Get you
better.
fat real quick.
Yeah. Tyler, what's your last pick?
I'll do an honorable mention. Chicken puff pastry. I love that. It's just chicken breast.
Maybe that was on my list.
Chicken breast with cream
so
cheese.
You should do that last, but I guess
mom makes it. So
it was on my list. I have it written down right here.
Okay. Should we cut and start over?
No, go ahead.
All right. Chicken piccata probably with capers and like a lemon butter sauce.
What is that?
Bread.
Chicken. I guess I don't know what piccata is.
It's like a lemon and butter and caper sauce with like spaghetti pasta.
Interesting. We got a lot of Italian stuff. Oh man, my last one is gonna be mac and cheese. I love some like homemade mac and cheese, and same thing. I didn't experience this like growing up, but Taylor and I did a mac and cheese recently that was so unhealthy for you, but it was incredible. So you can't do it all the time because you just feel like, talk about just feeling like taking a 5-hour nap afterwards, but man, it was so good. All right, Park.
Fried catfish.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Fried catfish. Like at a catfish fry, like an actual one.
Yep.
Yeah. I've never seen you have fried catfish.
We haven't done it in a very long time. We used to do it at the ranch when we were little.
Like from catfish we caught?
Yeah, I don't like go to a restaurant and order fried catfish.
Yeah.
But if we're talking like home cooked meal, it's just like cool. It's like a cool process to go. We go catch them and then
with a cornmeal, like
cornmeal
batter.
Yeah,
Man, if you've never had it, this with Dell's down the street.
Oh yeah,
is really good fried catfish.
Yeah, there's some of the guys that are in Yee Nation showed me a breading called, and I don't think we have it down here. Maybe we do. I'd never heard of it. Called a shore lunch, and it's like the shore of like a bank. It's like you went and fished, and then you brought back the catfish or whatever, and you used that. And it's like I always used cornmeal and a few other things for catfish, but then I started using that, and I've never looked back. And I actually like ordered it the other day, but yeah, it's fantastic. Where are we going to lunch?
I don't know. I'll eat anything.
I'm
I'm
very
about to eat
hungry
this
now.
dog right here.
Wednesday, Weir Country Store.
Weir Country Store.
No, that's tomorrow.
Chicken fried steaks on Wednesdays. All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for having me.
Hey,
Finally.
tell everybody where they can get your shirt and win.
Yeah, ChrisGainsComedy.com, and that's GAINZ. This shirt will be available, and one other shirt. I have 2 shirts.
When does this launch, Hayden? And just make sure you get up the shirt up on the website and all that.
Yeah, so I've got to take a picture of me wearing the shirt, evidently, under your advisement, because you can't have the stock models model the shirt. You got to have.
It's Chris Gaines.
they're all
you gotta
skinny.
have muscle.
Yeah,
right.
They're all
have
skinny.
some muscle on it. Yeah, you put the shirt on and you grow muscles. It'll be available tomorrow. Well, you guys are airing this Wednesday?
Wednesday, tomorrow.
Okay, so it'll be available then. ChrisGainesComedy.com.
Cool. We'll have to have you on sometime soon again. I say that as soon as we cut. We're going to talk about how we're not
Well,
Get him
gonna have you on.
outta here.
let's do it again, and let's cook some chili.
Yeah, we're going to do a chili cook-off in the next month. We'll make content out of it. It'll be funny.
And I know you, with all your
Do
notes
go
over
on.
there.
Do go on.
With all your notes over there, you're going to go and you're going to find this Emerald Lagasse recipe.
Emerald got he's a fraud, first of all, but go ahead.
I played blackjack with him for 3 hours.
Did he suck at it?
At the Bellagio. No, he played $5 blackjack, though. This was a long time ago. Anyway, super nice guy. He was with someone other than his wife, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
But anyway, you're going to do research, and you're going to come up with this fantastic recipe, and the beans are not going to be the star of the show, I can assure you.
Oh, no, I have a recipe I'm already thinking of.
People aren't going to eat your recipe, and they're going to say, the beans make this. I can assure you. Because I'm sure it's going to be good. You're a smart guy, and you do your research.
I've got one that I've made, kinda. I
Really?
changed it around. It's called Old Sun Chili. Shout out Dale Brisby. He has nothing to do with it, but I just called it Old Sun Chili.
Well, there
so.
you go. You got to call it something.
All right, thank you guys for watching. We'll see y'all next week. Eat your veggies.
Eat your chili.